Hey y'all, happy Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what time zone you are. So yesterday I was out and about, celebrating my sister's 21st birthday. So um, we got to go. We got to go to the casino, and I admit it was my first time, but I came back with some winnings. Not very much, probably enough for like 5,000 crowns, but I'll take whatever I can get. so so yeah, Tuesday night, school night, and but I've been working on the house a little bit lately. As you can see, it's all the lava's removed, and it's basically a theme of man-made architecture. For example, nature provides us with wood and stone, and so I mean, it's not like these artifacts or these items were made by nature itself, but it was actually taken by man and crafted in certain ways. So got banners here from the bamboo and I think maybe even cow skin, but I don't know what they would use for banners in Mushu if that was the case. That'd be kind of weird. And so yeah, it's basically crafts in a way using nature. So, and then I moved all the games to each of these headboards. What I did here was I set up these headboards so that when you take a seat right here and you place your character right in front of it, your character's no longer in the way if you want to watch like a close-up PvP battle. So when it used to look like this, and you have your character, and you sometimes would have to spin your camera around to see anything. Now you can just sit up at one of these boards and zoom in like that. I mean, your weapon might be in the way, pets might be in the way, so I would suggest, if you're taking one of these seats, to take off any pets that you have on and any weapons. And hopefully other people won't be in your way as well, so you get a clear shot of everything that's going on. Now, the only disadvantage of this is you're not able to move around and have this view covered entirely. For example, if I moved over here, then of course my tune would be in the way this time. But that's as best as we can get with what the game's given us so far. So over the past few evenings, I've been thinking about devising a way to prevent people from entering the battle ring in the center, especially during the parties or during any kind of battles. And as we heard on Ravenwood Radio 36, which was released, I believe, today, they talked a little bit about PvP circle. Actually, 36 wasn't about that. That was about Ditto. My mind's still in transcription mode, so I'm actually thinking about a previous segment. I think it's number 35 that they were talking about etiquette. So one of those things that Fallon and Steve talked about was to not enter the center, just to be courteous and whatnot. But sometimes people still do that, or they've never heard the rules before. They're not as in touch with the community. So sometimes we do have some people just lingering there. So instead, we're decided to think about a way, and basically inside my house is where I leave all my my items. Basically, when I rip up, like, I change my arena every month, but I don't sell the decorations. I actually keep them in case I do want to reuse them or do want to remodel it back to, just in case I do want to return to some kind of theme. Then I place everything into my house. Well, some of these decorations, like these scrolls down here, I realize, these things push me back when I try to run into them. So why not use it for the PvP circles? Prevent people from entering in the middle like that and being annoying. At the same time, as you can see, it's not blocking off these circles. the perimeter of these scrolls, and that's to ensure that players can still be dragged into the ring into their correct slots. So if I hopped in now, I'll get dragged across all these scrolls, but no one else, once a battle starts, would be able to enter in the center. So that will save us a lot of time trying to type out and tell people to be courteous. So, and John Lifeglen, Diana Wildheart, Kelsey Fireheart, Natalie Emerald Flame, Maria Moon Blossom were really nice to come test out a prototype version of this ring. It used to have just a few scrolls with little tiny gaps, and basically what I did was I tested it in this way, where there's a little tiny gap in between, and at first it looks as if it's impossible to get through, but last night they were able to get through some of these gaps, so I had to reinforce it with some extra scrolls. So they tried it out, and some people, yeah, they were able to get through. So I doubled up on the layers. You can see some of these scrolls are actually floating on top of one another. So this forms a nice tight seal. And over here I got really sloppy, and it's hard to explain without showing you, but I'll be doing that a little bit later on how to create this ring, how to float above your arenas, above your battle rings more specifically. But basically it's let's see, it has to do with positioning, because when I positioned for my first layer of scrolls, they had their own intervals, and then when I redid the ring itself after getting help from those mentioned earlier, I didn't have the rugs in the exact same spots, so somehow these scrolls actually, when I placed the new scrolls to fill in the gaps, they did not recognize the ones that were already placed there. It was as if they were on an entirely different plane or a different realm. So they didn't collide with the scrolls that were already placed. So that's why this side is very, very neat. On the other hand, on the other side, I just had to redo it because this was a starting side, and so I had basically diagonals and V's in each slot, and I figured, you know what, it's much easier just doing it straight. I mean, I use fewer scrolls that way, and it looks neater. So I tried to do it on this side, and as you can see, it pretty much failed, and I couldn't find that different realm that I could place the scrolls so that they'd stack or interweave, like you see over here. So I went ahead and just got pretty lazy and just didn't want to spend too much time on it. But as you can see, so I just used the scrolls on these were the original scrolls, and then to fix it, I covered up their little gaps just to ensure people wouldn't be able to hop in. And let's see, and then Cassandra Hexthorn, Cassandra Dragonheart, Ulrich Ravensinger, and Jasmine Smith, I believe, and Jasmine Summerflame were really nice to help me test the second version of this ring, and it turns out this is working. So let's go ahead and get started on creating, on floating inside your ring, so we can help others. I know Ulrich Ravensinger and Diana Wildheart and Kelsey Fireheart are having some parties this weekend. I think Ulrich's party is on Friday. You can check Diary of a Wizard for more info. And Kelsey's and Diana's parties, which I believe they merged it, are on Saturday. So you can find that all at Diary of a Wizard Connect X. So you can go ahead and just Google that and find it there. Okay, so I won some, I think like a tournament for an extra MFP, and I didn't really want to redeem it. I was trying to figure out, okay, what does this code give me? Is it just the house itself, or is it the entire thing? And based on codes that I've redeemed in the past, it's actually asked me, do you want to redeem so and so? They tell you what it is when you enter the code on the website, but it didn't for the code that I put in. So I guess it was like a gift card or so, and unfortunately, it redeemed it on this character or on this account, and because you can't have two of the same exact houses on one character, I just decided to move it to this guy and use it as some guarding room. So you saw out there were some pink dandelions. Okay, so we have a ring right here with nothing around it, so it won't mess up any decorations I have. And basically what you want to do is you want to buy small flat-like objects. So you can't really see it here. It's kind of camouflaged. Yeah, but I have a pair of chopsticks right here. So I'm going to place these down. Let's see if, wow, we have a big dilemma. I cannot find, oh, there it is. Okay, so, not that it would make any difference. I'm going to just take off my mount so my character's more aligned to the ground. And, nope, I can pass over those chopsticks. So, basically what you want to do is test which items will provide collision, basically. I think the bone hand is one of those ones. See, so this bone hand does cause collision, so this is a usable item. Let's see what this bone definitely should be. Oh no. Oh no, there's actually a gap. Or not. No, you can walk over the bones. So furniture bones do not work well, but this bone hand does. So we eliminated that. Scrolls, as you saw earlier, definitely do not allow. In fact, they kind of push the wizard away, so it's a neat no-no effect in a way. And let's see, I wanted to test these. These are pretty long, so I wonder if we can. Nope, you can walk over them. So definitely not the tea ladles. Okay, so just the scrolls and the bone hand so far. There are some other items, but basically these are the flat linear ones. And the reason you want this is because it provides a distance. I mean, the inkwells, they provide collision. They prevent a wizard from moving, but you need about two of those to do the same, to cover the same area or distance that a scroll or a bone hand may provide. That's why earlier I was curious about the tea ladles, but apparently though they're long enough and would save a lot of capacity space, they do not provide any collision, so that wouldn't stop a wizard from entering the center. So reason why you want items that are flat and small as these is because when you're placing them around the ring in whatever fashion you'd like. I mean, I did mine in a cross to be a little let's see, yeah, I did it in a cross fashion to be a little organized, but you can even make a circle, you can make V's, zigzags. Reason you want them flat and small is so then when players look over the battle ring, sometimes they do need these icons like the sun, the eye, star, and moon, etc. Sometimes they like to look at pips, so you don't want, this is the problem that I experienced in my January edition of the house with all those rocks in the middle. It was that players could not see what kind of shields or what kind of or how many pips that players had within the ring. So while in addition to making your ring pretty fancy, you also want to make sure that it's usable and is not user unfriendly. So that's why I went ahead and went for scrolls, so then people can see shields and traps, damage over times, etc. So let's go ahead and start. Okay, so most of you may have known from experimentation that you cannot, I mean, if I wanted to place a large, nope, It looks a little glitched. Basically, if any item shows up clear, as soon as you take it out and place it in an area you know that it won't be able to place down upon, if it doesn't change to red or anything, then you should right-click, remove the item for your cursor, and then take it out again, just to see. And as you can see, the rug is now red and not the purple that it was before. Let's see. So as you can see, it turns its normal color when there is plenty of space for that to be placed upon. So, as you know, you cannot place items too close to the ring. If you've seen some of my tutorials with the floating, either through the videos, like my January edition of the MFP, or the comic that I made, you will get a basic understanding of collision size and how it happens. But just to elaborate further, just to revisit that a bit, what I've created here is an overlapping layer of a small rug and a big rug. So what I'm going to demonstrate it here is that I can place this combination further in. Let's give you an example. I want to place this purple rug as far as I can, and this is about the max that I can go from this side. Okay. So I'm gonna leave a rug over here just as it's a parallel indicator. So there. That's as far as you can go. With this blue rug, if I pick it up by the blue rug, then the game registers that I picked up the entire blue rug. It doesn't register the purple rug attached to it. So, as you can see, I can extend that purple rug beyond placeable terrain. If I tried to place a purple rug out here, it will not let me. This is in fact as much as I can. This is the default. So as you can see, the blue rug is lined up with the default, but this purple rug was able to extend, and that's because it doesn't register as two items combined. It actually registers as if I just clicked on the blue rug alone. So what does that mean? I can go ahead and pick up this purple rug. Let's start with the blue rug. I'm going to pick that up, and let's see how far I can get. I can't even get anywhere in this space. Maybe right here. But any further, I would not be able to place that, as you can see. So, I hate that glitch. So I right-clicked so that every item would return to its spot, but unfortunately, we have a glitch here. So I'm going to try to unglitch it and, in a way, stack it in its spot, pick it up. Nope, it is glitched forever. So I'm just going to leave that out. That's a whole nother issue, whole nother video to work on. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and stack these rugs. Oops. I'm having a difficult time. So these are bugged. If items are not behaving as you'd like them to, it's best just to pick up the entire combo and start over. So here we go, fresh, brand new slate. Now, when I use the purple rug, I can actually extend the blue rug in up to that default maximum because, again, I clicked on the purple rug. So the game only thinks that I'm picking up the purple rug. It doesn't detect that I'm picking up two rugs at the same time. That's why this blue one is able to be placed in much further. As you can see, it's actually a little bit further. I don't know if I did it completely parallel. There's the parallel right there. So you can see that's as far as the purple rugs can go in, but at least it lets any other items attached to it or attachable to it extend into the indefinite realm, I want to call. So here's a weird trick that I've noticed lately, and it's really hard to explain without showing. So I'm going to go ahead and do it here. Basically, when you've created this, you've actually created a shadow. I want to call it a shadow platform, because when you pick up this combination up, you're not going to see it, right? Remember, this is as far as I could go with that purple rug. Remember? This is as far as I can go, right? Only up to this, where that default is. But I've actually, when I've laid down my combination right here, I've created a shadow in a way. Let me show you what I mean. I can move it further in to the length, to the max length of where that blue rug was. So I don't need to make bridges. I don't need to make another combination of the blue and purple rug and extend another pair into the ring. I can actually use the shadow, the invisible shadow of that rug, and press it in deeper. So as you can see, I can actually place that purple rug onto a space that was not placeable before. Let me try this again. Now that the blue extends up to at least the red diamond, I'm going to try that again. Notice I cannot place it further. I cannot place it at a distance wider than the blue rug itself. Only around this size, so it's basically those two possible spots that I can wiggle the rug around in. So that's one. This is almost a new trick, I believe. I don't think it has always existed, but someone please leave a comment if it always has. But because I haven't seen too much of that before, but it's actually become a lot handier now that the floating bug is well, pretty much bugged or glitched in itself. So as you can see, I can start placing this rug. Now, what happens if I rotate it? I'm going to move it very, very slowly. Watch this. I can now change my direction because of that shadow that was on. Now, I just want to let you know that this, using this method with rotating it and picking it up, rotating, does not always work. As you can see, I'm rotating it with my mouse wheel, and it's already glitched up a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Oh, nope, it's glitched, and now I've lost the entire thing. But I'm going to go ahead and rotate it and kind of cheat the system a little, and there we go. Place that there. Remember, click on the small purple rug when you're using those shadows, because you won't be able to. I don't believe you'll be able to place a long blue rug on top of itself or anything like that. So hopefully that makes sense. Clicking on that small purple rug means the game registers that, hey, I've clicked on the small item, not the combination, and now I can place it on the shadow. So I can do some fancy tricks with just two rugs. So with that said, this is how this is the actual way that it is. I'm going to use this large watcher rug. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. Now we don't need it. So I'm going to use this large purple rug, and I'm going to slap on, let's see, get it as far away as possible, because what happens is when you're clicking on these items to move it, when I click on the small purple rug, anything directly above the small rug will be lifted as well. What I'm going to use this large watcher rug for is to place my items upon. I'm going to place, for example, a small pot, or in this video's case, actually, I'm going to place those barriers. So I'm going to click, move, just to make sure I did click on the bone hand and not the rug. You always want to be careful with that. And so now I've got this combination set up, and I'm going to go ahead and extend it as far as I can. There we go. Now I've created a shadow of this entirely large watcher rug. So now, as you can see, I can place this anywhere I'd like, and thankfully, these green neon circles are showing up, so I can see my progress. So here we go. Gonna place that there. So I don't want to block any of these. I want people to be able to enter and actually jump into the ring. If you put an item directly on the ring, on the circle itself, it actually can send people, it actually can glitch the ring a bit. It might send people way over here, standing right here, or way over there. Something really, really weird like that. So you don't want to block off that circle. So let's go ahead and place these scrolls down. Okay, so here we go. Not blocking off the circle. I'm gonna place that. Place this. Okay, so I've made so far a from this view a horizontal wall. Now let's make a vertical. But let's say I want to continue the ring out here. Well, I'm going to pick up my small purple rug and use that shadow and slowly inch my way over. So here we go. I'm going to inch my way a little bit more over here. So as you can see, I'm touching just the small purple rug and I'm moving it in a way, and whenever you're lifting the small purple rugs, do not place them anywhere near your barrier, not too close to your barrier, not under it. Otherwise, when you pick it up, you will pick those scrolls up in this case. So be careful with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and extend this. Let's see. Going to try to block this off. So you can rotate freely with these items. So yeah, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm scrolling my mouse wheel furiously to get it to spin, and it does not mess up. So thankfully for that, it doesn't do that. So now that I've placed these items, I'm going to go ahead and use that shadow, remember, of that large washer rug, and be able to. It's almost like a a flying scaffold in a way. So you can go ahead and place more items here. You know what? I wouldn't place a statue here personally if this was just if I was going to use this ring for battle, because that would just be in the way. But as you can see, this is the way you can float items out. So that's how I've made that fence around the ring, and I'll go back to it later so you can get another view of it, and detailed view. But let's go ahead and show how to float items. I mean, this is called floating in itself, but this is on ground level. Whoop-de-doo. Let's raise it a bit. So this time I'm going to use crates. Now, I would love to use just one crate, but as you can see, you can't fit the purple rug on just one. So that's why in all my examples that I've used, I've had to use 2 crates. So then, like that. Bam. Now, when that's placed right there, remember what I said earlier, anything you click on, items directly above it will move. Well, technically this large rug is overlapped with this small rug. So technically this large washer rug is above the box, and same with this rug. So watch what happens when I click the box and I move it. I move all items above the box. So this is how, let's see, so that is how you change the elevation. Now unfortunately there is no shadow of the large washer rug to be used here. That doesn't work in that case. So we're going to have to combine 2 of those basics together. Let's get a large washer rug. Ooh. This is why sometimes I go up here to do. I have all the space that I need for large objects like these rugs, and I'm gonna have to rotate this a bit because when I bring it over, it may become detached when I try to rotate it in the air. So again, clicking on the small purple rug, let's go ahead and combine those 2 basics. So place that small purple rug as far as you can get it. And now I've created a shadow in a way with the large purple rug. Click on small rug again. Extend it as deep as you want it. And here we go. Now I can get my item directly above, so you can put flowers, or make sure when you're floating items in the middle like this, make sure that they're slightly transparent or very, very small, because I mean a lot of the duels, I mean most of the magic of the duels is from being able to see your spells being casted. You don't want to see too many weird things going on. You don't want too many items in your direction, and sometimes your camera goes towards the middle, and like what we saw earlier back at the other MFP, when you place your character up against those wooden boards, it would zoom in and whatnot. So even if you're in battle, if your camera happens to brush up against one of the items that has a collision size, you will find your camera the duelist camera being shot off at different angles, or zoomed into places you want to see. So be careful with what you place in your ring. I mean, if you want people to use it, they have to enjoy it as well. They don't want to be glitched off to the side. They don't want their camera zoomed in too much. And I know I made that mistake on my first edition, January edition, by placing statues that were just too close to the players, and sometimes their cameras were they had the statues in the way. They could not see anything else. So you want to be careful with that. So anyways, thanks for your time again, and please subscribe, leave a comment, anything, and hopefully this helped you out. So have a good night or a good morning, and I will see you in the spiral.